Welcome everyone to a replay cast here. We have a cycle 1 of the Paradise League tournament here. Loser bracket round 3, best of 3 matchup coming at you between Deez Nutz on the Legion side taking on Doghouse here on the Hellborn side. So pretty excited for an NA versus EU matchup here. We'll see what game number 1 has in store for us. We will quickly go over the bans here before we get underway with the picks, as we have Lodestone, Sir Bensington, and Tremble going to be banned out from our Legion side here. So 2 bans looks like targeted at Fa here with the Sir Bensington and Tremble. Then they ban away the Lodestone, which is just always that nuisance position 3 hero to deal with. And then we have Defiler, the Gladiator, and Electrician banned out from Snooki of Doghouse here. So it looks like they're targeting the mids and solo lane heroes going up against Deez Nutz here. So they don't want those powerhouse solo lane style heroes. We have the first pick of the game coming out for the Legion, going to be Engineer. So they pick up what will probably be a support hero here. Always a pretty good first pick to pick up the Engineer, a strong team fighting support. And then we see Doghouse, they come out with Flux and Monarch, so they don't want to give the NG Flux combo over to the Legion side, it looks like. And they take the Monarch for themselves as well. So that's a support that the American team likes to pick up. So almost kind of stealing some heroes from them in a way. But those are great heroes in their own right, so they can build a nice lineup around the Flux themselves. We'll see what they pair with that later on in the draft. But the Monarch going to be nice to remove the stuns, which they just picked up an Andromeda, second pick here, followed up by Corrupted Disciple. So that looks like it could be a tri-lane right out of the gate there. A pretty nasty one with triple ranged. A lot of disable and damage coming out. But yeah, the Monarch pick definitely has a way to remove some of those stuns, at least from a couple of the heroes. We have the secondary ban stage already done. So these guys are going pretty quick here. We got Lord Sulfuras, Deadwood, and Pharaoh banned from Doghouse. So again, they continue to ban the solo style of heroes, the very powerful laning options as well. We talked about the Legion already having kind of their tri-lane, so they definitely need those solo heroes still to pick up. So good bans coming in, I would say. Then we have Valkyrie, Oogie, and Magnus coming out from Deez Nutz. So they ban away some of the tri-lane carry heroes, potentially an Oogie with the Lord Sulfuras being banned, as they do have the first pick coming out in the second wave. And then they ban the Magnus as well. They don't want to give that line stun over to Doghouse. But we have the Wretched Hag and the Scrap coming out. So they're going to go with a core Wretched Hag and what I believe to be a second support Scrap. So the Hag pairs very nicely with the Flux. There's some AoE synergy. But the Scrap not really bringing a whole lot of AoE presence to the table. I was more so thinking we'd see something like a Riftwalker, or even a Tempest could come to mind. I feel like there's a lot of maybe better options than the Scrap to kind of pair with this Flux lineup that they're building, but maybe they just want the split push presence of the Scrap. It's a hero that's really hard to shut down. He always gets farm as a support. But I'm expecting their last pick to be either another core hero that kind of soaks space with the Hag, or maybe they want some kind of disabler to kind of set up these team fights a little bit nicer. We'll have to see what they do decide to go for. I think they're either going to pick up something with more damage or something with crowd control. But final 2 picks coming out from Deez Nutz. We see Kraken into Alonia. So we talked about the solo heroes they need to pick up for their draft. Following up the tri-lane that they've already kind of settled with. And we see Kraken and Alonia. So that is a lot of damage coming in now as Alonia definitely bring in the split push and the team fight presence to the board. And then you throw Kraken on top of that. Maybe even stealing the Kraken away from them. The Hellborn side, who could have picked up Kraken Flux. That's always a pretty strong combo as well. So I really like the lineup here from Legion so far. It's looking to be pretty well-rounded. They have all magical and physical damage presences, good laners, very strong tri-lane. If they want to send that to the top lane, be aggressive tri-laning. So it's up to Doghouse now. They got one more pick coming up. We'll see what they decide to go for here. They are going to final pick a Draconis, so that is very Doghouse-esque with the dragon pick. Typically, we see Snooki play the Draconis, but they have, I believe, Mosher here for this series. So we'll see how they allocate the picks. I'm pretty sure Fa will be playing the Wretched Hag. That's usually his hero. So it's just a matter of who's going to play Draconis and Flux. And it looks like Mosher will play the Draconis. So Snooki will be playing the Flux here. He's going to be playing that like third core initiator style of hero. So we are getting underway here with game number 1. Again, this is a best of 3 series, so 2 teams will have to win at least 2 games here in the series, and then they will be staying alive in cycle number 1. So let's see what we got here going on. It's like we got Hellborn heading down to the bottom portion of the map, and Legion, I do think they're going to run the offensive tri-lane here with the CD, Andro, and Engineer. And Alonia will probably be headed to mid lane as we see Kraken going to the bottom lane. For now, it looks like we're seeing Scrap with Draconis bottom. I don't think we'll see a Draconis tri-lane. That doesn't seem to be kind of the way you want to go about running a Draconis, but dude is sitting in the mid lane for now, so maybe they're going to do a 1-2-2 with Wretched Hag soloing the short lane. So if the lanes stay like this, that would mean that Wretched Hag will be going up against either a 2 or 3 man lane setup. Then we'll have Alonia going 1 versus 2, so maybe we'll see a rotation into mid to help out Alonia. And then Kraken, I think he will probably be staying solo bottom, similar to the Hag. I think no matter what, these two guys are going to be 1v2 or 1v3 or 1v1, something like that. So anyway, we have a Ward of Sight down here from Legion in the top river. Don't think we do have a ward on the Scrap. He hasn't placed it yet though, so let's see where Doghouse decides to ward. So Kona should get very good farm bottom. Maybe Kraken will get a couple of creeps here and there. He won't be doing the best most likely. Mid lane, it looks like Engineer is actually thinking about hanging around here in the mid lane. Dude is actually going to walk uphill into Engineer here. Hits the keg stun on the boots. Monarch puts some good pressure. Now, he is about half life already, so great harass. Engineer, I don't think, bought any items, so he's trying to feel out the lane setup, see if he wants to buy an orb or maybe go for like some stats or some marchers. And I think I just saw him right-click an orb. So we will actually be having 2v2 in the mid lane. Top lane will be a 2 versus 1, so CD and Andro versus the Wretched Hag. And CD should be getting a pretty good farm up there with the 2 versus 1. Alonia, Engineer versus Flux and Monarch. 2v2 of 4 ranged heroes. Quite the interesting matchup. I don't know if I've ever seen this exact lane, but I think there's a lot of long range poke from Legion. Flux kind of has to get in range to do his pull and slow. Now Monarch is a little bit more defensive, but she has the boots, so she could definitely catch somebody with her crippling pollen. But I think early on, like early levels, I favor Legion here. Flux I don't think has too much power in 2v2, at least with this kind of a setup. Bottom lane, oh wow, Kraken's already on 7 last hits. The Dragon's on 12, so he's farming very well, but they have like Kraken already get 8 last hits, so he's doing well. Mid lane, I missed the Bloodlust. Go figure. It looks like they got the Bloodlust on Alonia, they took out the Flux, and then Engineer got traded. Who actually died to the Flux, so maybe they died almost at the same time. But either way, this will favor the Legion side. Excuse me. As we see Alonia jump up to 430 gold per minute. He gets his bottle delivered, he picks up a Merrick's Room. Over in the top river, we have Andromeda stealing the Mystic Illusion rune. Now, dude has the boots, but oh, here comes a keg stun from Engineer. And there's another Comet due to that Mystic Illusion rune. The Illusion rune is so strong in the early stages of the game. He gets off 2 Comet stuns and they take out the Monarch. So, very good rune control from Deez Nutz. They take both the top and bottom runes. And they're off to a 2-1 start here. See some harassment coming out from Monarch there. How's Wretched Hag doing? She is 5-2 currently against the CD and Andromeda lane, where CD is 13-7. So Hag does not have that many creep last hits, whereas Kraken down in the bot lane, he's having a pretty good time down here, to be quite honest. He's gonna get his 18th creep kill. He has more creep kills than the Corrupted Disciple, who is free farming 2 versus 1. So Rosary playing very, very well here, at least in the early laning stage, especially going up 2 versus 1. Run into the scrap there, put some good damage on him. That was a lot of pressure with the splash auto attacks. But we see already a 700 gold lead for the Legion side. 14-7 creep score on the Flux against 10-2 Alonia. So Snooki's actually doing very well here on the Flux, despite having the early death. He did get the 1 kill as well. Let's see, Comet come out, I believe. I think he disjointed the Comet Stun actually with the blink. Very well played. Kraken getting very low. He's got the Soul Trap on him. We see the Marchers into Soul Trap coming in from Draconis. Zoomerang from the tower area here snipes out Kraken. Very well placed there by Lilac. So they do finally bring down the Kraken, who was farming very well down there in the bottom lane. You see the 4-minute rune does spawn bottom. Engineer has Elonia's bottle, picks up the regeneration, and Monarch took the bottle from Flux. So I'd love to see that. The support's grabbing the runes for the mid laners. Legion coming out ahead here with the regen rune. Very good rune for an Elonia to just kind of nuke out the waves and spam his spells. CD, he's got a early power supply. A little bit surprised by that he goes for the early power supply. He's in a 1 versus 2. I think he could have probably just went straight into the steam boots. But anyway, he'll probably be completing those really soon. He's about 100 gold off. Gonna be interested to see how Draconis builds this game. If he's gonna go for the Ghost Marchers or maybe just kind of tank up. Scrap throws out another Zoomerang. He is maxing that, by the way. It is level 3. The level 3 Zoomerang. Up close. His Kraken's getting close to level 6. He might be able to kill this Scrap because Draconis cannot really save him. A lot of damage coming in from CD with the Electric Tide. There's the Aurora coming out. And the Blink was already used from Fa, so he gets caught out there. Good capitalization from the Legion Man Up duel in there to bring down the Wretched Hag. I think that was Hag's first death, yep. He's not having a good time so far. Only on 11 last hits with the death now as well. So Kraken, he is level 6. I heard a Keg Stun come out. But it looks like Alonia is working on the jungle for now, so I think Engineer might have stacked up the jungle. And there we go! Kraken takes out the Scrap. I predicted that one, so I'm going to pat myself on the back. Maybe you guys can't hear it, but I called it. I said that that was going to happen. Kraken level 6 takes out the Scrap. Nothing really Draconis can do. Doesn't have Cataclysm to kind of put enough pressure to get a return kill. Doesn't have like enough damage presence with his item build. Oh, top rune looks like... Who got the rune? I missed it. I actually missed who got the rune. There's no rune bottom. Oh, Alonia got double damage. She's currently in the bottom lane. She's gonna give Kraken a sip of her bottle, maybe 2 sips. There's a Mousetrap down. Some slows coming in on the Scrap, but we have Monarch here, kind of giving them the numbers advantage. Alonia says, I'm out of here, something's not feeling right. Top lane Comet comes out. Oh, that's a lot of damage, and Wretched Hag, she just gets 100 to 0'd in the Comet Stun from the Electric Tide. Now we have action possibly brewing bottom lane. We have the port coming in from Corrupted Disciple. Alonia gets her absolute 0 up, but there's a Chrysalis from the Monarch, and Snooki is holding his ground, but he is going to use a defensive discharge, and he is going to go down to the Corrupted Disciple. He is currently draining, I believe. He's on 160 damage. Kraken leading the front lines, doesn't have a charge up, but here comes the splash. Boom! Goes Scrap, and he goes down. It is a double tap coming out for the Kraken, as he did get a kill. Who did he kill? He killed the Draconis as well. I missed that, actually. So they ended up killing 3 people in the bottom lane, as well as Hag also died prior to this fight in the top lane. So 8-3 hero kill start here for Deez Nutz. Monarch is all the way in the trees. Wow, very deep there into the Legion's territory. But With those sequence of kills, we see a 3,500 gold and 4,000 experience lead already building here for the Legion side. And now they want to pressure this tower a little bit with CD rotating down here. He's already up to 480 gold per minute on the Corrupted.
He is headed to the bottom lane.
Maybe we'll see Doghouse start to stack the jungle. Maybe stick Draconis in there, try to get him some farm. But I'm very worried about Fa on the Wretched Hag. He's not really progressing with his farm. He's on only 25 lasted, sub 200 GBM. So maybe they're going to want to stick him in the jungle. Alternatively, to kind of get him going. You see Engineer in the mid lane. I don't think he's got any mines anywhere just yet. He's level 6. Apparently the 2-1-2-1 skill build. 2-1-2-1. Very symmetrical. What's going on bottom is this. Okay, Andro takes a Dragon Flame. She's going to be fine. Alonia is now up in the top lane, just kind of nuking out waves. It looks like he actually maxed out his Glacial Spike. A little bit surprised by that, especially since I saw him doing some jungle stacks earlier. Would have rather liked to have seen him max out the Frigid Field. But we have a energy field down. Kraken did also use his release to Kraken. They took out Flux. Oh, a nice deny coming in from the Engineer. Denies Kraken. This takes a lot of resources away from the Hellborn side. Now they're going to try to get this return kill here on the Engineer as Wretched Hag did blink into the trees, but there was the power supply, and here comes the Kexon. It is going to miss, unfortunately, as the turret. They're going to take out the Monarch, and CD's here with the Electric Tide, and Fog goes down on the Wretched Hag. Draconis comes in with a breath. Finally, they bring down the Engineer, but he bought so much time for his team, as Andromeda now might get the catcher with the Comet Stun. He is, and there's another Electric Tide coming out. They pick off both the Hag and the Draconis, and safe to say they will be happy with sacrificing their Engineer for those kills. As now the lead has grown to 5,300 gold and 7,000 experience. So to add insult to injury, the Kraken got denied from the Engineer. Just very good sequence of events coming out from Deez Nutz. Sneaky ports up to the top lane, it looks like denies the tower. Him going down. But Cronus is only level 7 here at 10 minutes, so he's really not kind of taken off the way you'd like to see a Draconis just get out of control. He's still sitting on red marchers with the 1, 2, and 1 creeps hero kill score. So I think it's safe to say they would definitely like to be having a little bit more from the Draconis this game, because he was kind of given that priority farm bottom. And Kraken, he's on his way toward a portal key. As Engineer, he's getting caught here. Maybe they're looking to turn this one around. CD is coming from the background, but there's 4 Doghouse players here. Andromeda's going to sacrifice himself as he throws out a Comet Stun. So he gets brought down. There was just too many players simply in the area. But Kraken, he's getting very close to his portal key, and this was a 2 versus 1 Kraken. He's already on 1,700 gold post Steam Boots bottle. Alonia continuing to sit up in this top lane, nuke out the creeps. Yeah, we have Vorak spawn bottom. We'll see if the big rat can maybe push some tower pressure here on the bottom tier 1, as it's going to go straight for the tower. Scrap's even going to assist with some pushing with his skills. And I think the rat is going to die here. But will this be enough tower pressure for the kill? They use the glyph. We'll see who's porting in. It is Engineer. He wants to get this deny. If anything, maybe they get some time for the team to come in. There's a keg stun. Energy field is down. Tower, one more hit. It is going to go down. But Kraken does port in. So if anything, I mean, he got the tower, so he forced 3 of them to rotate. They used an energy field. Wasn't the worst thing in the world, but what it did do is give Kraken enough gold for his portal key. Draconis, I don't know what he's doing. He could be farming the jungle right now. I guess they're trying to bait with the Flux. Flux is just going in man mode. This almost looks kind of silly. And Monarch's gonna Chrysalis himself. Oh no, this is disaster. This is not what they were looking to do here. It's going to be a double tap for the Andro. He's going to swap in the Draconis, but there's no follow-up. The Cataclysm is doing a lot of damage to Alonia, and he wasn't feeling like pursuing for another kill. So they did not get anything out of this whatsoever. Kraken has his blink. I think he just showed it as well. So Fa, he is up to 300 gold per minute all of a sudden. I kind of took my eye off of him for a couple of minutes, and he has jumped up to 317 gold per minute, but it is still a very far from recovering to what the Legion GPMs are showing right now. Damage chart's pretty even. Definitely have the golden XP favoring Legion for now. CD has picked up a light brand, so he will be going more of the farming route of the Dawnbringer. We'll probably see the firebrand component into the ice brand. I do think he will finish the full Dawnbringer this game. I don't think there's enough of a threat here from Doghouse's lineup where he would need that early Shrunken Head. We have Kraken currently baiting the CD bottom. Does have a Veiled Rod on him. Maybe Draconis will step up a little too far. Engineer is being fearless up here in the top lane. He's kind of taking the risky farm here. He's got a Mind Trap, so maybe he feels a little bit safe. He does have those maxed out now. Trying to maybe set up for a potential bait if they come up there. Alonia goes for a Saxstone. I believe he's had that. He picks up the Vestments and Chalice. And now he has the full Gnome's Wisdom, so he goes a fairly defensive route here. Andromeda might be getting caught, as there's a haste rune on the Flux. He does have his discharge ready to go, but they're not really finding what they're looking for. So they rotated us 5 in here, and they were not able to catch anyone out. You see Kraken using the Veiled Rod here. Alonia's hiding in the trees. Now, if they do go to push this tower, they do have to fight into the Kraken portal key. Deny comes out top lane from Engineer. Looks like the tower, maybe from the Vorax, got put a little bit too low. But here we are at 15 minutes now. 8,000 gold, 10,000 XP lead. Here comes a charge from the Kraken. It catches Scrap. Monarch does throw out the Chrysalis, but it's a level 3 Chrysalis, so it is pretty strong. But there's just too much damage there with 3 people around. And they're not able to really bait out the Scrap. He just ends up falling. The CD's now got his Searing Light. He's about 1,800 gold from the full Dawnbringer. Engineer picks up a Mana Tube. I do think he will be going straight into the Storm Spirit, which I personally love. I love seeing the more aggressive route. Alonium, she's actually holding her ground here with the Gnome. She does go down. As Draconis did bring her down there with the Cataclysm. Flux gets charged up by the Kraken. Here comes a nice swap on the Draconis, and do they have the damage? They do. CD is there. Now he is very low. Hag comes in, takes him out. A nice keg stun, though. He was not able to pick up the double tap. He'd already used the Bat Blast as well. So Kraken picks up a double tap there. And Scrap did just respawn, so it was more or less 4 kills. They lost the 2 most important people on their team, though. They lost the Alonia and the Corrupted Disciple. But with Draconis and Hag both dying, kind of equaled out. Looks like Scrap's gonna fall again here. Slow's just being a little bit too much. Engineer has a Mystic Illusion rune here. They might try for a dive on the Flux. There's a Kraken charge catching him out, and the release of Kraken comes out, and it's not gonna matter that Monarch is in the area. Draconis flies in. Oh no, this could be disaster. Energy field is down. Kekstun's gonna miss. It doesn't matter. There's just so much damage coming in from the side of Deez Nutz, and that is more or less back-to-back deaths coming out on the cores of Doghouse. As Fa, I believe, did just recently finish his Gnome's Wisdom here on the Hag. I think he's gonna want to be going into an item like the Grimoire of Power, but it is a very long way away for that. We see the tower fall here, and we have finally broke the 10k golden XP barrier here. Very, very great start here from Deez Nutz in game number 1. CD is, I think, very close to the Dawnbringer. It's 515 gold per minute. He has the Mighty Blade, so he's almost at the Dawnbringer. We have Flux picking up an Energizer. Not really doing too bad considering the 1 and 6 stat line. He is on 320 GPM. This is a hero that doesn't really farm the greatest. So he does have 113 creep kills, which is quite impressive, I would say. Especially the fact that he's tied with the Elodia, who is a very, very strong flash farmer. I'm going to see a Veiled Rod here used from the Flux. Don't think they saw that. But we have Draconis flying to the top lane. It looks like they want to try to go for a fight here. Kraken is baiting the Engineer. Oh, he catches the Draconis with the release to Kraken. Cleansing Wind came out but did not save him. Monarch runs into the energy field actually. And the Cataclysm is causing issues for Kraken's portal key. You can kind of see that right now. But here comes the Comet from Andromeda. Flux is going to get Crystal Slap from the Monarch. Here comes Absolute Zero from the down part of the river. And they take out the Monarch. Swap comes in on the Flux. And Andro, I believe, is going to sacrifice herself. But they're going to take out... No, Fa actually blinks away. He's going to live. This is a haste rune on the Elodia. The slows are leading the way on the scrap. The haste does run out, though. I'm a little bit surprised that they don't chase this. Oh, they want the Hag. That's why they turn their attention toward the Hag, who does kill the Engineer. But the blink is not going to be able to be used here by Fob, and they are going to bring him down. Scrap, meanwhile, in the background goes down to CD. So in the end, it is going to be a genocide as Draconis and Monarch did respawn. But I think they only lost the Andromeda and the Engineer, so the two supports dying for a full genocide, pushing their lead further here. Now we're up to 16k gold and 17,000 experience. And CD, he could definitely finish his Dawnbringer if he so chooses. He has enough gold at the moment. Engineer has... Whoa, he has a Blink and a Storm Spirit. Okay, I was not expecting him to be this farmed. I knew he had close to the Storm Spirit, but he has a Portal Key on top. That is just... At 20 minutes on the second support, that is crazy farm. Kraken getting close to what I believe is a Shrunken Head. He's got Sexstone and Mighty Blade with 1400 gold. Andromeda even having a tablet. You compare that to the Legion or to the Hellborn supports, they have nothing on the Monarch. Scrap just has armor, boots, investments, so not really sporting like a tier 2 item just yet. And it actually was the Shrunken Head, so he goes very defensive here on the CD. I don't really like it. I don't feel like he needs the Shrunken against the Hellborn heroes that badly. Nothing he can really counter other than maybe some minor spells like Dragon Flame and Sonar Scream, stuff like that. But he's going to go the more defensive route, play it safe, pick up the early Shrunken. He'll finish the Dawn next. Kraken catches Hag in the top lane. We now have a domination on the Kraken. He has an 8 kill streak going. And another Mighty Blade picked up, so there that will be toward the Ice Brand component. I'm really trying to find signs of life here for Doghouse, but I mean it's so hard when the Hag continuously dies and the Draconis is sitting on sub 300 GPM. Chrysalis comes out, but he's stuck in an energy field. There's going to be a defensive discharge, but he's still slowed up from the Alonia. The Electric Tide comes in. Here's a Cataclysm, but Draconis does not have much HP or mana. And this is just full disaster for Doghouse. They pick up 2 more kills. And there we have it. The GGs are called. 22 minutes in. Doghouse has had enough here in game number 1 against Deez Nutz. A very well executed game 1 coming out from the Legion side here, as they were already leading by 20,000 gold and 20,000 experience. So they did very well in all the lanes, and they just took this one with a full steam of gas to the finish line.